So if you don't push your child along a particular bending, they might never find out whether they can be good at it or not, right? If you don't push them, help them through that initial resistance, they may never find out how good they are. They might have been the best, but they'll never find out because you never find out unless you do it, right? I just listened to Napoleon Hill as I'm getting to listen to him this month. I was only supposed to have listened to Napoleon Hill just last month alone, but I'm here listening to him this month, and I'm going to be listening to him again next month because I'm finding so much jewels listening to Napoleon Hill. And one of the things it says is that, our success is determined by the way we think, right? However, it's not just what we think, we must act on the thought, right? If you just think and you don't act on the thought, you won't get the success that you desire. The thought creates the action, right? But the thought needs the action. The action needs the thought. Without the thought, there's no action. Without the action, the thought is barren, ineffective, right? So the same way, no matter how good your child is supposed to be, no matter how promising the future is, if that child does not go past that inertial to go along that path, that future will never manifest. That dream will never come true. Your child needs to go through that inertial to get to that point, So that's important, right? So it's not always passion that fuels perseverance, right? It's not just passion, it's discipline. It's discipline, discipline is perseverance, right? You can be passionate for anything you want, but you need the perseverance to go past a difficult period. Your eyes must be on the goal, the reason why you're doing it. And it's difficult for children to do that. That's why we come in as parents, to help them to see the future, see the end game, see the reason why they're going through the pain today, make it worth it. Help them see it, help them go through that difficult period, so they can achieve the goal, the reason why it's being done. I got to do exercise here. I exercise 3 times a week. My full routine is anywhere from 1 hour to 3 hours each time I do it. And I do it because I know the reason I'm doing it. I know what I'm getting from doing it. I'm not doing it because I want to make someone know that I do it, or mark the register. I went to see the doctor here on Thursday, and she was asking me about how many hours I exercise, and she was surprised how long it takes to do any of my routines. I don't do it to be able to tell the doctor. I do it because of what I get from it. Right, my muscles, my body is well toned. I like the toned nature of my body. I like the fact that when I stand, right? I'm not standing bending over. I'm standing, like a man, like a man. My body's well toned. I like what it's doing to my body. I like what it's doing to my heartbeat also. I go and I check my pulse. My pulse is always low. My pulse is not elevated, right? My pulse is right place. My blood pressure, right place. Those are the results, but those results don't fall from heaven. They come because I pay the price, by doing the exercise regime that I get to do. It's the same thing with our children. You don't want to be a protege in any particular field or any particular area. They want to be a protege in maths. They want to be a doctor, whatever. They can't see it as a child. They can't see it as they go through the pain of what it takes. You know, so that they can get the prize. You help them go through the discipline. You know, Again, one of the things we reminded ourselves is that place where the Bible says, you know, where there's no vision, the people perish because they lack discipline, they lack restraint. Right? A child is not going to go through discipline of his or her own. They need us to help them go through the discipline. We're the ones that know the reason, the worth of the discipline. And that's what parenting is all about because we see the vision for them. We help them go through the discipline so that they will not perish, so that they will succeed in their future, right? Just as often, perseverance fuels passion. We need perseverance, not just passion, to get to the end of whatever it is that we're doing. It's possible to do something because your parents say you should do it, but to then gradually learn to love it, right? We can do things because our parents say we should do it, but then as we get good at it, then we'll love it. My mother used to give me maths exercises to practice as I was a kid. It looked like maybe she was suffering me. It was a discipline. But today, I appreciate it. Today's maths is second nature. I see a problem, I know the solution, right? It didn't come from heaven. It came from all the exercises I did, right? I paid the price. I'm reaping the reward today. Same thing we can do for our children, right?